As the monsters of the NTRA roll into Lima, Ohio, some large questions loom. Can the new cat on the scene, Alan Pizzo's Predator, claw his way to the top? Or will he end up kitty litter? Will KG veteran Gary Porter regain his championship form of 2 seasons ago, beginning today? And is there anyone out there capable of stopping the Bob Chandler juggernaut? This is Trucks and Tractor Power, featuring the all-stars of the four-wheel and off-road Jamboree Spring Nationals. Welcome to Trucks and Tractor Power on the Nashville Network. Today we're at the Allen County Fairgrounds in Lima, Ohio for the four-wheel and off-road Jamboree Spring Nationals. Hi everybody, I'm Gary Lee. Well, another question we have is what hand Mother Nature will play in today's competition. It's wet, it is soggy in the Buckeye State. It's raining outside, so I've moved inside a remote facility. And of course, the weather will add to the treachery of the monster truck competition. But right now, let's go trackside to my colleague, Army Armstrong, who's in a position to survey our rather sloppy track conditions.
Gary, we're standing about 250 feet past the finish line. Normally, this is a shutdown area, but this is the area that could shut these guys down today. As you can see, the moisture is here today, and there's nothing in the world slicker than grass that's wet. Well, the track crew knew that, so they've gone, and in the shutdown area, they've actually pulled back or peeled back a layer of grass, but in doing that, they've created maybe another monster that our monsters have to deal with. That's mud. This could be a real exciting area before the day's over. As a matter of fact, we're going to stay down here and see what kind of action does take place. Back to you.
An Army action from round one. We'll look at Mark Watros in the Mongoose truck. Now, here's a guy who's accustomed to the mud. Mark is a former mud racer. We've seen him on this program competing in the Team Rancho Funny Car. Watros is now getting into monster truck racing in a Ford he calls the Mongoose. And here in round one, he takes on David Morris in the Equalizer. Watros shows he may be a player to be reckoned with down the road.
Well, right now, David Morris is showing why he's one of the top drivers in the country. I'll tell you what, the old Mongoose ran him a good little race down there, though. Morris
yeah, he
is
could be a factor in the future.
Yeah, definitely that.
Another newcomer to this circuit is Alan Pizzo. He's got a great-looking truck called the Predator. Now, Alan's had a rough go so far here in Lima. During the first day of qualifying, Pizzo would sustain heavy rear-end damage with this very tough landing. Watch, right here. Oops, there goes the suspension. Now, he qualified for today's race. But now in round one, Pizzo in the near lane taking on Mark Hall, and it appears as if the same thing happens again. Then watch Mark Hall in that slick shutdown area. All kinds of action here. There goes the suspension, and there goes Mark out through some very wet grass.
See, Gary, that's exactly what we were talking about, and as you well know, boy, you're not going to find anything in the world slicker than wet grass. Meanwhile, major suspension problems to that vehicle.
Yeah, it's been an expensive weekend for Alan Pizzo and the Predator. Second time, first time in qualifying, now in the round one competition with some severe damage to the rear suspension. And after this run, Army talked to Alan Pizzo.
Well, the first time you qualified to run on this circuit, you know, you got to be a little bit disappointed with the problem.
Yeah, we've had our problems over the weekend. We've broken 2 rear shocks and, you know, 1 4-link bar this weekend. But, you know, that's what it's all about in racing. You know, you take your good days and your bad days, and sometimes you win, sometimes you lose.
Ken Duffy was one of 3 drivers representing the Dodge contingent with high hopes coming into Lima, Ohio. Duffy now in the far lane. And he's taking on a guy we're glad to see back on the circuit, Gary Porter in the Carolina Crusher. Duffy in the Dodge Express could take Porter right to the limit, but goes onto the trailer nonetheless. Next up for the Dodge camp would be Don Van Loo, who had the unenviable task of drawing Andy Brass in the first round. The latest entry of Bob and Marilyn Chandler's racing stable is called Wildfoot. Magnum Force was simply no match for Andy Brass.
Andy Brass showed right there he was a class of the field today. That eliminated down to 1 final bullet for the Dodge camp, Gary.
And that belongs to Fred Schaefer. Up until this point, all the wins had come out of the near lane during round one. Now, Fred had the new Bigfoot driver, Gene Patterson, just where he wanted him. But no, Fred Schaefer couldn't get the job done with barefoot, and he goes home early.
He lost a transmission in no man's land. Not taking anything away from Bigfoot for the win, but we got to be up front. The Dodge did lose the transmission.
Round 2 action coming up next. Welcome back to the Allen County Fairgrounds here in Lima, Ohio, as Ford Trucks present the PENDA four-wheel and off-road Jamboree Spring Nationals. It's a part of the B.F. Goodrich Performance Racing Series. Hi, everybody. Gary Lee along with Army Armstrong as we take a look now at round 2 competition. That will be Wildfoot against the Carolina Crusher, Equalizer against Tropical Thunder. The Executioner is in against Bigfoot because the Predator broke. So there is a look at your second round competition. The fast loser will advance to the semi.
Gary, I really like the way that these pairings are at the Jamboree. The fan that buys a ticket constantly gets to see side-by-side racing.
Well, there's a look at Gary Porter in the Carolina Crusher. And Army, earlier you took a look at this vehicle in hopes of shedding some new light on a very tightly guarded area in this sport of monster truck racing, the torque converter. Army?
Motorsports, there's a lot of secrets, as you well know, and the transmission innards, if you will, seem to be the spot that everybody holds closest to their chest. They don't want people to know what type of torque converter they're running in these vehicles. Now, you got to remember the torque converter is what takes the 1,800 horsepower from the engine and puts it to the rear tires to drive these vehicles. And a torque converter is normally only 8 inches long. That is this piece of equipment right here. Now, Neil Chance has teamed up with Gary Porter to make a 2-piece torque converter. What that does, it allows Porter, with his monster truck, to adjust the stall speed up for more RPM on the starting line or down for less RPM on the starting line to actually tune the truck to the track condition. That's why these 10,000-pound monster trucks are able now to actually do wheelies on the starting line, something only seen in the past in the drag racing sport, but now the monsters are literally leaping off the starting line. Back to you, Gary.
Yeah, and Army, speaking of wheelies, we want to go back a couple of weeks now to a run turned in by Andy Brass in Wildfoot. You talked about the ability of carrying a wheelie through the run. Now, this is Wildfoot, the newest in the Bob Chandler Bigfoot organization out of St. Louis, Missouri, and watch him carry the front wheels.
This is what I call a really wheelie. Watch it.
But it's the experience of Andy Brass. He knows he has to stay in the throttle because when that car, that truck noses over, he has to keep the throttle down because then the 4 wheels will pull him back out of it.
Exactly. You get a corner touching the ground, it'll get you going straight again.
All right, Andy Brass pulls alongside Gary Porter.
Both of these drivers are known as hard levers on the start line. It's going to be Chevrolet against Ford, Gary. What do you think?
Well, I tell you what, this Wildfoot truck has shown a lot in the early stages of competition, and it's all over for Gary Porter.
Yeah, but Porter, you know, being up front again. Wildfoot is a class to fill today, but Porter had an electrical problem. His motor cut clean right before the second jump. I don't know if it's the moisture or what, but boy, when it went away quick.
As you indicated, this race could be won at the starting line. They are side by side right here over that first jump. Now something happens to the Carolina Crusher. Let's go down trackside and find out.
Gary, I tell you what, it just seems like that you're snake bit as far as something electrical in this truck.
I know I can't seem to get it figured out. It's, had me the last couple of days in qualifying and during the racing. I got him off the line there, and I was pulling him a little bit there on the flat, and then my motor went away, and he just went on past me. There was nothing I could do. I don't know what the problem is on my part.
Well, we understand there could be a problem in Wildfoot. As we take a look at the Wildfoot teammate, that is Bigfoot. That is Gene Patterson. But we understand that there could be a problem in the Wildfoot Ford that just won that pairing with the Carolina Crusher. Let's go trackside once again. Here's Army.
Gary, as we're looking at Andy Brass, boy, this is something you don't see very often. They're taking him back into the pit area. Okay, look underneath the vehicle. He's punched a hole in the oil pan. You can see the oil coming out from the oil pan right now. So Andy's not going to stop and talk to us. They're not going to be able to come back. They have punched a hole in that big engine. Back to you, Gary.
Well, as that big Ford is towed back to the paddock area, we take a look at the Executioner. This is Mark Hall. He is at the starting line, and he pulls alongside Gene Patterson in Bigfoot.
Mark and his brother Tim could be one of the best-kept secrets in the sport. They've come around. They're paying their dues right now, and they are getting closer and closer each week. Gene Patterson steps up into an already proven truck, so Hall has got nothing to lose. You just lay everything on the line right here. No, not going to happen again.
He didn't lay anything on the line because the truck wasn't there for him.
Something went away big time there.
So an easy pass for Gene Patterson as he will advance, but obviously something mechanically wrong with the Executioner. And
boy,
that's
a
look
tough
at Mark
break.
Hall, and
believe me, Gary Lee, before this year's over, the Hall boys are going to be playing hardball with these guys.
Well, the Executioner just got shot in the foot there at the starting line, so he'll go back to the trailer, and Bigfoot will advance.
Yeah, but he'll get the last swing of the axe before this year's over.
Well, let's go back to the track and talk to Gene Patterson.
Gene, it seems like more and more pressure keeps getting put on your shoulders.
Yeah, that's right, Army. You know, a little rain here hurt us a little bit today, but we feel like with the Firestones are hooking up real good. We got a good cut on these tires. We've been working on them for a couple months now. We detuned the motor a little bit, and we geared the truck down. You know, we felt like this track wasn't going to take as much horsepower it has in the past. Seems like it's working for us. Put the Dodge on the trailer in the first round. We win another round. We're hanging out for the next one.
We are ready now for the final matchup in this second round. There is a look at David Morris in the Equalizer. He will pull alongside Wayne Smozanek's Tropical Thunder. Young David out of Springfield, Tennessee, a truck that's been around for a number of seasons, but seems to get faster every year. And here's a guy who is always spectacular. Win-loser draw, Wayne Smozanek out of Jupiter, Florida. His experiences in drag racing before he made the move to the monster trucks. Now, going back to round one competition, Paul Schaefer in the Monster Patrol was Wayne's opponent, but Schaefer wasn't able to make it to the line, so Wayne had this bye run to advance to round two.
We found out why Schaefer couldn't make the call. He lost the transmission back in the pit. They couldn't get to go in the forward gear, so Smozanek rolls over into the next round. That truck is not handling at all. You notice the bounce in it? That's not a good setting chassis right now.
Well, here is a good setting chassis. This is the Equalizer, David Morris, and Wayne has a problem right at the starting line. An easy pass for David Morris. He realized that Wayne Smozanek had trouble, eased out of the throttle.
Well, I don't know. Morris has got a burping sound with his engine. If I were here in a monster truck, I would not want to be lining up in that left lane. There's something spooky happening over there, Gary.
And there's a look at Gary Porter, who may have caught a break with Wildfoot going on the trailer despite his loss to Andy Brass. He may be in the semifinals. We'll have the Final Four from Lima when we come back. Welcome back to Lima, Ohio, where Wayne Smozanek is leading a charmed life. With Wildfoot breaking and the Executioner never making it off the line, Wayne will be coming back as the fast loser, despite making a run, taking a whopping 17 seconds. So there he is, the fast loser, Tropical Thunder, Wayne Smozanek out of Jupiter, Florida, and he will take on Gary Porter in the Carolina Crusher. The other bracket will have the Equalizer, David Morris, and Bigfoot with Gene Patterson. So a very interesting Final Four. And let's go down trackside and get some observations from Army Armstrong.
Gary, one of the things I'm thinking about here this afternoon, this is going to be a driver's track. Okay, we've got a lot of moisture down on the track surface. The driver's going to be running. Sun's starting to break through and everything, so horsepower is not going to be the major player here. What you're going to see, basically, is who can ever finesse these 10,000-pound monster trucks the best. I think it's going to go into the winner's circle. Back to you, Gary.
There's a word that you would not think would be synonymous with monster truck racing, finesse. But you're absolutely right on this racetrack.
Well, it's like watching a sprint car race. The trick there is to being smooth, and you sure wouldn't put those two together. But yeah, you're right. 10,000 pounds. You got to baby these rascals on the other end of this track today.
Wayne Smozanek has been having all kinds of problems today, and following round two, Army asked him about it.
Wayne, I tell you what, it's such a shame because you got so many big pieces in a monster truck, and there's a little bitty gremlin in there getting a hold of you. Something electric.
Yeah, it's electrical. I'm thinking what might have happened with all the rain and humidity, having to keep a cover over to keep electronics dry. It holds a lot of moisture, and something's obviously got wet because the first time it seemed to be okay, and now it won't hard turn over $3 grand. It's back, and of course, if you hit it, take a chance on lifting a blower. You don't want that to happen.
So now as we go back to semifinal action, there is the Tropical Thunder truck in the far lane against the Carolina Crusher, the near lane. Porter against Smozanek.
Both drivers have been having electrical problems all weekend long. It's really weird.
And once again strikes Wayne Smozanek as he will go to the truck.
Porter goes to the
Porter
final.
goes to the championship round. So just what a miserable weekend for Wayne Smozanek.
Every racer's had a weekend like this. Now, he'll find out what has been going wrong, and he'll just hit his forehead like, oh, man.
Take a look again. Smozanek in the far lane, a problem right off the start. Gary realized that, took a pretty easy run in the Carolina Crusher.
So that does move him into the final. The big question is the old rivalry between Equalizer and Bigfoot. The difference is Bigfoot's got a new shoe driving it.
Well, here's that matchup right now, and there is Gene Patterson. He's been with the Bigfoot organization for a number of years. And he steps into Bigfoot 10, vacated by Andy Brass when Brass goes to Wildfoot. And there is the equalizer out of Tennessee with young David Morris.
Oh, Gene Patterson, when we do an interview, he kind of walks away from the camera. He holds up his index, his little finger, and his thumb, which is a sign for hang loose. You know, anybody's been in Hawaii, that is kind of his logo, and that's the way he drives the truck. Hey, just hang loose, give it 100%, and it'll all work out for you. See if it works for him.
Well, the winner here goes up against the Carolina Crusher for the championship. Good start by the equalizer. Who's going to take it? Gene Patterson takes it in Bigfoot. Bigfoot, Gene Patterson advances to the championship against the Carolina Crusher.
Chevrolet and Ford, Gary, going to the finals.
On the replay, watch the two different driving styles. In the near lane, equalizer rolls over this first jump, while Gene Patterson and Bigfoot jumps the first jump. And right here, Patterson gets the advantage, and he takes the measure of the equalizer. He goes to the championship. But right now, let's go trackside and talk to David Morris.
Well, David, it looked like you were going to be a player all afternoon long. What was it like on the other end? We couldn't tell. We were on the starting line, and it looked awfully close.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. I really didn't get what I needed in between the cars right there. I had to fight just a little bit, and then I, you know, kind of lost some of my forward speed there trying to get it straight, but that's racing.
And here's one more look now as David Morris walks away, realizing his day is finished here in Lima, Ohio. Again, he rolls over that first jump.
In order to roll, you got to stay off the throttle, okay? And that's exactly what cost him that forward speed that he was looking for.
Well, as we take another look, right now, Army standing by with the man Gene Patterson will meet in the finals, Gary Porter in the Carolina Crusher.
Gary, you and Bigfoot going into the finals, man. How quick your luck can change in this sport.
It is, you know, the track's getting faster and faster, and I think, you know, if I can keep my truck, you know, and the motor running like it did just last pass, I think I can take them.
Well, it looks like Bigfoot and the driver, Gene Patterson, are back in the pit area. Let's go back there and check in with Gene.
Okay, it's kind of a unique situation. We were talking to the crew about an hour ago. He wasn't even supposed to be here. He's going to be in the final, but you get lane choice. What'd you all decide on as far as lanes?
We're going to go ahead and take the right lane, Army. We've bounced back and forth all day here, you know. The sun kind of pops out and it goes back in, you know. These lanes are changing every round. Ford, it's hooking up for us. We keep tuning in between rounds. We're going to put this Ford in the finals. You know, we've been here before. I'm sitting in Andy's shoes. Trailmaster shocks are handling real good for us today. BDS, they're doing their job. Firestone, everybody back at the shop, they've done their work to put me here. Now I got to just bring them home the trophy.
A good driver gets all the sponsors in. He does that. We're coming back with the final shootout. Welcome back to the Allen County Fairgrounds in Lima, Ohio, where Ford Trucks present the PENDA four-wheel and off-road Jamboree Spring Nationals, a part of the B.F. Goodrich Performance Series. These Jamborees offer a host of activities for the truck lover as well as the entire family. And to find out more, call or write Special Events Promotion Company. Well, Army Armstrong, we are ready now for the final shootout. There is one of the contenders right there, Gene Patterson in Bigfoot, and he will pull up alongside Gary Porter in the Carolina Crusher.
You know, over the years, we've seen these trucks go head-to-head quite a few times, but there's one difference. The face of the driver in the big blue truck. Porter, I wonder if he is going to try to intimidate this new driver, or if they're just going to go up there and lay it on the line and just do some heads-up racing. Okay, it's already been answered.
Motorsport, Army, that the driver have confidence in his vehicle, and obviously a new driver in Gene Patterson, but he knows this truck very well, and he's very confident.
Exactly, but also he knows what pressure is because Andy Brass won in the truck. He's got to step up into those shoes. It's just a good old-style heads-up race as who's going to take it.
And it is Gene Patterson, Bigfoot, the big blue Ford from St. Louis. A handshake from the crew chiefs. And Bigfoot in victory lane. How many times have we said that? Only this time, Gene Patterson in the cockpit.
He not only stepped up into Andy Brass's shoes, he found out they were tap shoes because he was tap dancing all over everybody today. Congratulations to him.
And he wins it here in the rain and the gloom of Lima, Ohio at the Allen County Fairgrounds. One more look at the championship run of Gene Patterson. Let's go down to victory lane. There's a look at Gene.
Well, Gene, congratulations. No guts, no glory, and you get the glory today. Great job.
Thanks a lot, Army. You know, it's tough running here today. Like I said, early the rain, you know, kind of played a hamper on us. The weather conditions changing on us all day long. Ford, Bigfoot, we're making all kinds of power out here this year. We're gunning for these boys. Last year, a couple of them won the war, but the battle's just begun for me. I'm a rookie sitting in this seat. And that Wildfoot went out the first round. We were gunning for him. He took us out in the finals yesterday. We're there. Firestone, Trailmaster, BDS, MSD, Autometer. Without you guys, we wouldn't be here in the winner's circle this weekend. Just thanks a lot, and everybody back at the shop, you know. Appreciate the help. We'll see you home with a trophy this week.
Well, he is far from a rookie, but wouldn't every rookie like to have a set of wheels like that?
You know, what amazes me is he's like an old pro. Like you say, he gets those sponsors' name in, and he was #1 today.
Our congratulations to Gene. For Army Armstrong, I'm Gary Lee. We'll see you next week on Trucks and Tractor Power. Now here's news of an exciting video release from Diamond P Sports.
Here's another dramatic classic from Diamond P. It's And They Walked Away 3. That's right. By calling 1-800-792-6464, you get the latest installment of this all-time best-selling series, capturing motorsport's most perilous moments yet. Stock cars tangle and tumble on the oval high banks. Drag racers experience terrifying infernos. Sprint cars dance too close and pay the consequences, and much more. And in each breathtaking incident, the driver beats the odds. To order with credit card, call 1-800-792-6464 or send check or money order for $24.95 plus $4 shipping and handling to the address on your screen. That's 1-800-792-6464. And while you're ordering, pick up on the Trucks and Tractor Power t-shirt. The design features monsters, mud, and pulling right from the TV show. Call 1-800-792-6464.